Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Aurum Stay at Home series. We're here today with Chris Kabot. Now, a lot of you might not know who Chris is, so let me tell you. Chris is the VP of Tech and R&D for both Core3D and the Aurum Group. He's based out of Detroit, and he specializes in additive manufacturing, 3D printing, and digitizing the dental and lab practice. He's currently the manager of digital dentistry at the dental manufacturing powerhouse Core3D centers, which we kind of talked about. And previously to that, he was the applications engineer for the inventor of the 3D printer, 3D systems, as well as the dental applications manager for Detroit-based 3D printing company EnvisionTech. Now, he's not just a 3D printing guru, although I've seen some of his work and I would say he is, but prior to his positions doing this, he was a lab rat for his family-owned orthodontic practice and lab where he learned the building blocks of dentistry. So seeing how digital can transform every facet of the dental business gave him the motivation to dedicate his career to these technologies. So he's really got the best of both worlds. Have I missed anything, Chris?
No, it sounds pretty good. It's a mouthful though, but thanks for the introduction, Jay. I appreciate it.
Well, hey, no problem. I mean, what you do, it's kind of tough to simplify it. It's so cool. So.
It was a lot of studying and a lot of going to school for a lot of years, but look, I studied biomedical engineering. That was really my background, but everything was predicated off the dental industry. You know, my dad being an orthodontist and us owning an ortho lab. In our family, once you turn 13, you have to get a job. So for me, it was easiest to go to the lab and nick my fingers on a model trimmer and poke myself with some wire. And I think once I got into university, that's when I realized I didn't need to do that anymore if I started using a 3D printer. So that's sort of how this all started.
Nice. Well, that's pretty cool to hear. So you and I are going to be a week from today, next week, which would be April 28th at 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We're going to be having a live webinar entitled Aurum's Response to a New Normal. And so I just want to give the viewers a little idea of what we're talking about when we say that. So as we start to transition back to opening up the dental practices and hopefully very soon, what type of regulations do you think are going to be needed to be in place to make sure that we're doing more help than we are harm?
Now, it's a perfect question. Obviously, with everything that has been changing with the outbreak of the pandemic, our industry has been greatly impacted. If you look at any of the metrics by any standard, dentists, dental hygienists, dental assistants are all at severe risk for contracting pathogens, whether those are viruses or bacteria. So obviously, as us being a solutions provider for our dental network, we look to partner with our doctors to make sure that we can bring them back to work safely and in a proper manner. So with that, of course, we look at customized PPE applications that we can manufacture, and of course, on our large network of manufacturing options. And with that, we want to make sure we're doing things safely. Going ahead and manufacturing any type of biocompatible application, you need to make sure you have the right standards in place. So again, that we're actually helping and not causing any harm. And luckily for us, because we've been in this for quite some time, we've been manufacturing high-end surgical componentry for a very long time under the right standards. So some of those regulations that we have in place, obviously being Health Canada cleared, being FDA listed, those are very important for our facilities to make sure they're on the up and up with their regulations. But we take it a step further where we went out and got our ISO clearances as well. ISO is even harder to get than FDA, of course. So you have to go through a whole different process and making sure that we're on the up and up with all of our different validations. So we're very current in all of our regulations, and that's what allows us to manufacture these in a safe and effective manner and get these out to our customers that, of course, are going to need this when they get back to work. So that's really our goal, and we do it in an effective manner and make sure that we're super safe about it. Dot every I and cross every T.
That's awesome. And I know when you mentioned at the beginning about the risk, and I keep being reminded of the article that we've seen from the New York Times, and it's really a scatter chart of the risk factors, and dentists are in the very top right corner of high risk because they're working in the mouth all the time. So I think that what we're doing is a really big deal, and it's going to have a really big impact. So would you say that we've taken a unique approach to this pandemic, and maybe what the solutions are on the other end are going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the different types of PPE that are out there, whether they're shields, whether they're masks, whether those mask fitter frames that we've seen as well, to ear savers and nose savers and all these different little applications that can be used to increase sort of the quality of life of these physicians or of these nurses as they're going in there on the front lines and fighting this battle. For us, of course, it's important to make sure that we are creating a good package to our doctors when they come back to work. And with that, we want to make sure that most of these applications are custom. That's really what dental takes the cake, and that's really where we fit into this niche, is doing customized devices. And that's also what 3D printing is primarily used for as well, is mass customization. 3D printing became a thing in both the medical and dental world, actually through Invisalign, the dental company. Okay. They were the first ever company to really mass produce what we call mass customized devices, which in this case are just a bunch of different 3D printed models of patients' teeth. From their eye, they go and do the thermal forms and create those aligners. That's how aligners are manufactured today. Well, just like with mass customized aligner manufacturing, everybody's face is different. Everybody's nose, everybody's facial features, they're all completely different from each other. So we like to think that we really fit the niche of mass customized devices. So this means with a simple scan of your phone, if you have one of the new iPhones, we can take that 3D scan and use that scan to do a customized mask, fully customized to your facial geometries, a customized face shield that fits your forehead, exactly how your forehead is played out. So we believe that customization is 100% our niche. It's what we've done. Every single patient's teeth and occlusion is different, right? We know that. That's really where we specialize in doing these customized devices, and the face is no different.
Yeah, and I would agree that probably the days of small, medium, large, and one size fits all of PPE are going to be long gone after this is all done. It brings me just to my last question, and you may have partly answered it already, but we've manufactured before. We've been manufacturing for a long time, and you talked about, high-end medical stuff. So how has this changed, and what are we really doing differently now?
Yeah, we're printing different applications and we're learning different workflows. For instance, let's start with the nasal swab. The nasal swab is something that we desperately need in order to ramp up testing, not just here where I am in the US, but of course across North America completely. I think when we see people start coming back to work and we see dentists start coming back to work and patients start coming back into the door, hey, maybe we're not allowing patients to come in for dental work unless they've been tested. So for us, when we started transitioning over to manufacturing these nasal swabs, one, we had to do it in a very controlled manner, and we had to make sure that we had the right equipment in place. So this means some very high-end 3D printing equipment, biocompatible 3D printing resins, and of course, biocompatible curing boxes that we have to use at the end of the day to make sure that the entire system is safe before we are actually bringing this product to market. And that goes for every different piece of PPE that we're trying to do. Again, customized devices is the niche that we fit in, and we're going to be able to make these customized devices so that our doctors can come back to work safely. Again, all of these products are manufactured in FDA, Health Canada, and ISO cleared facilities with all FDA and Health Canada cleared materials. So we're staying on the up and up and just converting our manufacturing power that we've used for all sorts of different dental applications over the last 60 years to actual medical devices. So it's a little bit of a transition, but it's still the same digital ecosystem that we're used to and that we thrive in.
Awesome. Well, I can definitely speak from getting to work closely with you that we're really lucky to have you in the group and the work that you do. That's the questions I have for today. I don't want to give the viewers too much, but next week, 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time on the 28th, I look forward to chatting with you more. I know that you've got a lot of stuff to show people. I think this is going to be a highly attended event. So if you have any closing remarks.
No, thank you for the opportunity. We look forward to sort of showing everybody what we've been up to. And I'll tell you what, this is actually, since the outbreak happened, of course the dental industry is taking a bit of a pause for the moment, but I'll tell you what, we've been working harder than we've ever been working, pivoting our manufacturing over to really aid in this fight and of course help out as best as we can. So we look forward to showing you all the different applications we've been working on, some of the really unique and innovative applications that we're going to be bringing out here in the future as well. We'll talk a little bit about what's to come. And I think this is really just the start of, again, what this new normal is going to be for us as we come back to work. And hopefully the dental industry can get back quickly, of course, with groups like us that are trying to put together the right package to bring everybody back safely.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, that's Chris Kabot. I'm Jason Zelmer, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Thanks, Jason.